Hello everybody, welcome to Tousi TV with some breaking news coming from the United Kingdom. As of this coming week, the British government have ordered a massive crackdown on large new media outlets and channels such as Tousi TV. Video platforms including YouTube and Rumble will be fully regulated by the central machine in Whitehall, Westminster. And in this live stream, we're going to give you guys the details of what sort of powers they now have and have given to Ofcom. Now, this is not really a big surprise. We knew something like this was going to happen anyway, but in regards to the details of what sort of powers they have, it's quite concerning. So it was nice knowing you guys, and it was a good journey. Goodbye. It's over. It's not. We're going to fight back. But there is so much to cover in this live stream in regards to what this dictatorial prime minister is about to do, using the excuse of looking after people's well-beings, including vulnerable people. That includes basically anybody who could get offended, ethnic minorities and all the others as well. Using that as an excuse, slippery slope to do a massive crackdown. Now, Ofcom has been given extra powers, as expected, to regulate us. Everybody was thinking, how can they do this? I was actually thinking over the last few months about how can they actually do this? We've got so many social media accounts, so many new media outlets, so many random channels, random people doing their own things. They have actually decided they're going to do it in a selective manner. So there is a list of, they're going to go after large channels and large social media accounts with big followings and keep an eye on them. That's how it's going to start. And this is all in the name of the UK Online Safety Act, which, by the way, it was something that the Tories brought in. It was their idea. The Labour government just made it worse. So you can, in principle, technically blame the Tories, but this happened so many times throughout modern history of this government, this country with their successive governments, where the Tories start something, the Labour Party, they get into power and make it worse. So the Tories always have to be careful. Don't start something, because we keep warning you there will be a slippery slope situation. They always ignore it. So let's go through the details that we have. So first things first, Ofcom will be using their powers to enforce this new act as of next week, which is tomorrow, Monday, the 17th of March, forcing social media, search engines, messaging apps, and video platforms like Rumble, like YouTube, to essentially remove content that could be harmful. Now, that's not all just illegal content, because they said initially the Tories' idea was, let's go after basically those who do child abuse or anything with terrorism. Well, we knew there was going to be a slippery slope. So they're also going after content that could be psychologically harmful. If I say something against, for example, Islam, or if I say women are women, somebody could get offended. And of course, that means then they could do a crackdown. Now, you might be asking, what sort of crackdown? What do they actually want to do? So we're going to go through the details, because it's really weird. The platforms themselves, the big tech platforms, will be fined, in terms of the actual penalty, up to 10% of their global revenue. So even if you have a company in Silicon Valley in America, it's not just the UK version, like UK YouTube, that will be losing 10% of the revenue. It's the global revenue, which is a massive problem anyway for these companies. But the fines and penalty charges also go up to £18 million for non-compliance. £18 million. So, by the way, one thing is about punishing the platforms. The other is to punish us. And you could go to prison. I'm going to explain that, because we could have a jail time for certain content. So Ofcom has said any provider who fails can expect the full force of enforcement. So they seem very confident that they are able to do this. Now, before we explain what you could actually face in regards to jail time, because that's absolutely chaotic, the idea, let's look at some of the details. So Section 10 of the revised bill, because the Labour government revised it, authorizes jail time up to 2 years for anyone whose social media message could cause psychological harm, accounting to at least serious distress. The message doesn't even have to cause harm. if the authorities believe that the offender intended to cause harm and that there was a substantial risk of harm, that's enough for a prosecution. There's also a separate crime of transmitting false communications, punishable by fines or up to 51 weeks of imprisonment. 51 weeks. You will go to jail. We don't have space in our prisons, but they can still send us to jail. It makes no sense. Now, a lot of people thought, and the Tories' idea was to simply put pressure on social media platforms. That was the idea. Labour increased it, escalated to not just punishing the social media platforms, but obviously go after the messaging apps, video platforms, YouTube, Rumble, all of them, but also punish the content creators. So jail time and fine for us, and also fine for the big tech, 10% loss of global revenue. The problem here should be obvious. These are utterly subjective criteria. People disagree all the time about what constitutes a false statement. Determining what statements have a real and substantial risk of causing psychological harm is the epitome of a subjective question, as is who might have a reasonable excuse for making such a statement. The apparent lack of legal certainty casts a doubt on whether the UK's Online Safety Act meets international human rights standards. The problem is, so many problems, but one main issue on a technical level is you don't actually have to cause harm. Subjectively, the opinion coming from Ofcom and the central government could say what Maya Tousi just reported, even though nobody's complained yet, could perhaps cause psychological harm or distress. Now, the other issue with this is that Ofcom until now have been regulating the broadcasters, the traditional legacy media, because that was a lot easier. You have a number of channels, you get a license with Ofcom, and they keep an eye on you, and they send you a set of guidelines. They're not going to send us any guidelines. You see the issue here? So when GB News starts, or ITV or Channel 4, they sign the contract and they give them the guidelines. So they can actually sign the contract. So we're now part of Ofcom. And they have certain things. So fake news, even accidentally, is natural. False information is natural, especially when it comes to breaking news. BBC does it, Sky News does it, CNN, Fox News, everybody does it. And they correct the statements. We also do it sometimes. Like, oh, that was incorrect. You correct it. If you have a license with Ofcom, you've already signed a contract with the guidelines as part of the legacy media, you're able to do that, and then that's it. You're fine. It's clean. Done. Next segment, BBC will come and say, oh, by the way, we showed you a picture. That was actually from last week. That's not from tonight. Done. Everybody moves on. But the problem with the online world is that the content you create on Rumble or YouTube is still there, right? So unless you delete the whole thing, you will be in trouble. Even if, for example, I do a follow-up update saying, by the way, there was an image during the last report that was actually inaccurate. It was breaking news, it was happening quickly. It happens. Again, these sort of mistakes happen by mainstream media and new media. You will get punished. Jail time. Actual jail time. Now, the other attack is on encryption. The bill also empowers Ofcom to order online services to use accredited technology, in other words, government-approved software, to find child abuse images. So Section 104. That was what the idea was. The Tories said we're going to go after basically groomers, right? Everyone's like, okay, fine. That's fine, right? No, because those powers are not going to be used by the state for everything. It's not just if there's a suspect, then yes, you get the legal powers, you go and get access to everything that they have. But now, they have the new government software that will be used to get access to everything and everybody. Those orders can be issued against online services that use end-to-end encryption like WhatsApp, meaning they currently don't have a technical way to inspect users' messages. This part of the bill is a clear push by the bill's sponsors to get companies to either abandon or compromise their own systems. Not really shocking, but we knew it was going to happen. The problem is, how did the rest of the House of Commons and House of Lords allow this to happen? Right? YouTube. And all these guys will be obviously at risk. of losing their privileges in the UK. So, as I said, Rumble, YouTube, Meta, TikTok, all of them. Companies like YouTube and all the others must crack down on the harmful content. The initial idea was to do a crackdown on terrorism and child exploitation, right? But now they say hate speech and fraud. Fraud is interesting. Now, how do you define fraud? There is a existing legal way of defining fraud. That means, if you take advantage by lying and you essentially you're stealing money, for example. But if you missell an idea, that's fraud now. If you missell an idea, for example, hypothetically, actually I still got 2 hours to go. It's 10 p.m., 10 past 10 on Sunday, the 16th of March. From midnight, 17th of March, these powers are now coming into place, right? So I still got 2 hours to say this. I don't have to say hypothetically. Islam is considered a religion, right? Protected by the state and government. If I come and missell Islam as an idea, which is my view that it's a political ideology, I'm misselling the idea. And if I get you guys to back my campaign, for example, if I launch a campaign against it, then that's fraud. I'm not even joking. It gets worse. The battle is now between the British government and also Elon Musk. So the Labour's new act, which obviously polices harmful but legal speech, is now being attacked by President Trump and Elon Musk. President Trump is threatening more tariffs on the UK if this goes ahead, which is going ahead in about 2 hours, by the way. The law obviously gives Ofcom more powers to even ban Elon Musk's X in the UK. Again, the idea is doing a crackdown on harmful but legal speech. It's legal. There's nothing illegal about what you say. But if it's harmful, they're coming. Now, President Trump is fighting back. President Trump and Elon Musk are fighting back. The other countries and governments and big tech platforms, they don't seem to care much. YouTube actually is taking legal action and challenge. So YouTube and X are doing it. The others don't seem to actually care, which is a big problem. Although we haven't actually heard the latest statements from Meta, because Mark Zuckerberg recently said he's concerned about this, because Mark Zuckerberg is now making a bit of a U-turn. He's doing a overcorrection, saying, yeah, I was controlled by the globalists and now I'm liberated. Thank you, President Trump, all that stuff, right? He has expressed his opinion that this is quite concerning, but we haven't actually heard anything official from Meta as a company. YouTube and X are fighting back, which is good, appreciated. But President Trump, as a leader, as a governmental leader for a country, the major country, is fighting back using his powers, which is to punish the UK government with tariffs. Good, let them do it. The problem is Keir Starmer doesn't care. Keir Starmer is not going to make a U-turn on this because of the tariffs. That's the problem. Because I don't think the tariffs are going to go that far. I think President Trump is just doing carrots and sticks when it comes to the British government. I don't know what's going to happen, but we have just less than 2 hours to go. We'll find out how they're going to do this now. Let's get some reaction from you guys. As I said, if you joined us late, the idea they now have is, I thought they were going to do a blanket policy. I thought they're going to use Ofcom to do blanket policy and force YouTube, for example, to have certain guidelines, which YouTube already has guidelines. But it's not. They're doing a selective list of first major or larger new media outlets like Tousi TV on YouTube, bigger following, and others. And then obviously they're going to go after everybody else. Stupid. The whole thing is stupid. Now, Joshua, thank you for your super chat saying it was fun while it lasted. The lawfare until you get a castle or something. It's tough. We will continue, don't worry. Thank you for your super chat, SH. And Joshua also says, America is way less gay. Good assessment. Come on down. You can say the N-word here legally. Ninja? I can say ninja all the time then. Some even think it is your moral and patriotic duty to say the N-word at least once a day. For God's sake. It's so unnecessary. But yeah, I mean, well, we have to obviously think about moving the operation itself because obviously it's becoming slightly difficult. The problem is we don't know how they're gonna do a crackdown on foreign-based outlets. So, for example, Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, their company is based in the US, Florida, right? Texas, I don't know. But their content can be watched from the UK. So what we need to find out is whether Ofcom will force YouTube and Rumble and all these guys to censor just for the UK viewers, because they can't censor the whole of Daily Wire globally. They can't. They don't have that power because the company is based in the US. But will they be able to just do this for the UK viewers? RNS says, will you move to Rumble? No, because Rumble is also going to be on the list. So it's a crackdown on every platform, every video platform, Rumble and YouTube, but also social media platforms as well. Now, interestingly, we actually haven't heard any legal challenge from Rumble. X and YouTube are fighting back, but nothing from Rumble yet, which is, I don't know, rare. Heather says, ignore the rape gangs though, enter swear here. Stu says, this has all to do with protection. It's a silencing and cash grab ploy because they are too stupid to work a budget properly. Perfectly assessed by Stu. Because this whole project scheme is a cash cow scheme because they'll make their money from the big tech, right? But the silencing thing is, which they have added, which is jail time. Jail time was not supposed to be in the Online Safety Act bill. No, it wasn't supposed to be part of it. And as I said earlier, a lot of us were trying to warn the Tory government at the time, saying, don't do this, because the Tories just said, we're just going to go after terrorism and, child abuse. We're like, you do realize you might lose the election. Labour is going to come in. Their paperwork is there. They're just going to change it. I didn't know they were going to add jail time to this. I knew they were going to go after free speech. But I thought, well, what are they going to do? Just, I don't know, censor us a little bit more, demonetize videos, which, again, I already get demonetized mostly anyways. But it's mostly because the content is very sensitive. We talk about conflicts and riots and things like that. So, but the jail time thing is for silencing. Clipper says, my lad's homework this weekend was to revise for a test on the golden age of Islam. This is just brainwashing our children. That was an actual thing. They're teaching the kids the golden age of... When was that, by the way? See, I got 2.5 hours to say this. Oh, an hour and a half to say this. Aristotle Plato says, I'm a big fan of the Free Speech Union more than ever. Well, that as a good reminder, because we've just done a project with the Free Speech Union and Toby Young, which is our latest documentary, the cancelled documentary, which is going to be on Tousi TV Plus. As a reminder, I was showing you guys the teaser a few seconds later on the show. Hopefully you will join Tousi TV Plus to help us support, obviously, this whole company and everything that we do over here, because it's going to be very, very hard. Now, Tousi TV Plus has to now move to a different country in order to survive. As a business, we're going to have to move the operation. We'll find out what the next plan is. So go on Tousi.tv and join us today. Cynthia says, in other news, free speech died in the UK today. Yes, are you all open to becoming the 53rd state behind Canada and Greenland? I forgot about Greenland. I was going to say 53rd. We'd love to have you. Your illegals have to go, though. You okay with that? Yeah. I'm not in charge, but yeah. Tafkaya says, a fine of 10% of global revenue is as absurd as when Russia fined Google more than the entire world's GDP. That was funny. I don't understand why they think they can do this. So, well, because they can. I mean, as I said, the pushback is just coming from two companies, Google and X. So the others, I'm not really sure what they're up to. Have they been told? I'm sure they've been told. Clipper says, to think that Starmer had the bollocks to sit there in front of Trump and Vance and say to the media that we have freedom of speech in the UK. He is nothing but a lying dictator. Again, he knew what was going to come. One of the reasons, if you go watch that clip again from the Oval Office, the reason Starmer got jumpy, he did it in a very polite, nice, in a banter way. No, it's okay, we have free speech. It's because he was already briefed that President Trump is going to be told by JD Vance and Elon Musk what you're doing. I don't think Starmer knew to what extent President Trump is going to react. I think he was only expecting the president to just use words saying, I condemn the UK, right? I don't think the Prime Minister was expecting the White House to issue tariffs on the UK to punish them for doing this. And I am absolutely grateful to President Trump for actually doing this, because what he is doing is not just a favor to the British people. He's also defending the American interest, because a lot of the Americans will be affected by this as well, including the big tech companies that are based in the United States. Anyway, let's go a non-super chat. Jennifer says, I joined late, but can you say if this is just for the social media platforms, or can they also monitor your actual Tousi TV Plus subscription platform? So yes, the start is just for three main areas. Social media platforms, so that's Facebook, Instagram, X, things like that. Video platforms, that's YouTube and Rumble and a couple of other smaller ones. And messaging services, so WhatsApp and things like that. And they haven't announced a detailed plan on independent websites, but considering what we found out now, which is, as I said, I thought this was going to be a blanket policy, more restrictions, censorship guidelines for websites. No, it's a selected list of major channels and outlets. So unfortunately, because we have now 781,000, by the way, thank you guys, 781,000 subscribers, we are on that list. So, but my educated guess would say, if they have put a few on that list, and by the way, it's not just a few, it's hundreds, it's a big list. And they are recruiting more bureaucrats, civil servants to Ofcom to do this, by the way, agents. If there's a list with certain names like, Tousi TV, then surely that also means they're going to check the website. I don't have the confirmation, but it would, if I were Ofcom, I would do that, right? I'm not going to give them ideas, but that makes sense. But we don't have the confirmation, so we'll find out. I don't want to ask them, because then they might get ideas, but Stu says, Elon, just buy us already. UKX don't sound bad. Yeah, he does add X to everything, doesn't he? UK is becoming the UK or a UK-stan. In 5 years, it will be beyond repair. Did they do anything about the fake propaganda by the BBC? Well, to be fair, they did get the BBC to remove it and force them to apologize. Although they didn't use any state powers. That's the interesting thing. So the BBC didn't get punished by the government or Ofcom. They didn't. The BBC voluntarily decided to remove that fake documentary, from their platform and apologize. Why didn't they get punished? Why didn't Ofcom, for example, punish them? What's the point then? He says, time to think about emigrating. Yeah. What a mess. I just got here. Clipper says, did you know that two-tier Kia is a... Thanks for that, Clipper. Actually, again, we've still got an hour and a half to go. I can say Wayne car. John Craig says, I'm getting scared that the revolution may not happen. We are dreaming our way into a dystopian future. Yeah, I think I'm with you, John. And Terry says, please stay on YouTube. We need you. I'm not going to leave YouTube itself. Unless they kick me off. It's just about moving the actual business entity somewhere else. That's basically. Again, the fear is that the content that will be watched by people in the UK, it will still be censored, right? Even if, for example, I moved the company to Ireland, to Dublin, They can't censor all my content because I'm based in Dublin, right? Hypothetically. Because there will be people watching from Israel or Canada or South Africa. But they can still censor for you guys if you're based in the UK. Heather Scott says, remember thinking I was overly worried? We are, in a cycle of doom, guys. Thank you, Joanne Morrison, for your support. And Tony says, Trump is a leader, Starmer a harmer. I know a useless prime minister's. I'm an Aussie. Yeah, true. I mean, your government is a mess. Aaron says, Farage illegally moved shares from a trust to USAID. Yeah, there are some allegations on that as well. I don't want to get sued. Clipper says 7.6 thousand people, viewers watching this live compared to the combined 1.8 thousand views that GB News and Talk TV currently have on their lives. Also, it's now 7,800. But yes, thank you. That's a good point. That's why I'm on the list. And other major channels as well. And we need a Marcus Furious Camillus, freedom of speech. And we got Martin saying, you might meet Tommy. Oh, no. Imagine. Ooh. Oh, what my favorite troll is back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get ready. Okay, sleeves up. For those who are not familiar, we get a number of trolls who constantly join us to help the algorithm. RJ's Clips. What is it saying tonight? Tousi first says Farage is after him, then Starmer. Okay. But he thinks he's Jesus. I don't have the beard properly to be Jesus. Also, his is not H-I-S. It's H-E-apostrophe-S. You're just, that's again not spelled correctly. You're just an irrelevant false messiah, secret lefty. Why do you watch this channel? Why are you so obsessed with watching and helping the algorithm? For the record, RJ's Clips, 781,000 people would disagree. Oh dear. For someone who thinks I'm irrelevant, he's very much obsessed with watching every live show. Lee Ray says, wouldn't you have to move to Southern Ireland as Northern Ireland is part of the UK? Yeah, I didn't say Northern Ireland, did I? Did I say Northern Ireland? I think I said Ireland. I said Dublin. Dublin's not Northern Ireland. It's the Republic. Yeah, of course, we can't go to Northern Ireland. Where is he? Is he back? Can't wait. Can't wait for RJ's Clips. It's going to be good. What's this? You're going to be fine. Exactly how many retractions have you had to make? Not as many as the big boys. True. You regulate and verify your stories. You're going to be fine. Keep it up. But the thing is, it's not really just about that. It's not really just about false reporting. It's also about controversial things, harmful but legal content. That's one of the problems that you have. Where is the RJ's thingy? Whatever his name was. Clips. Waiting for him to come up with something ingenious. Anyway, let's go back to some super chats while we... Funny time. All right. Super chats. What? Ah, yes. Trevor says, Canada is right behind you guys over there. We have a new Klaus Schwab puppet in our government. Yep. You guys are in a bit of a trouble for the next few months with Carney. And PC says, hopefully Starmer will lose the next election. Labour will not be able to get a majority. It's not going to happen. It will be a hung parliament anyway. So it's simply about who's going to become the largest party. At this point, it will still be just about Labour, the largest party. Because even if the Reform UK is the top party in the opinion polls, doesn't mean they will get more seats. First past the post, let's not forget. Pete says, would using a VPN work to avoid UK censorship? No, because the business is based in the UK. Company's house. That's the problem. Now, there's non-super chat. Your channel will be shut down. That what you said, you lie too much, mate. You are against migration. I do not like Corgans too, but I can't stand your lies. This is not English. Is this French? What's going on? There's a bit of a contradiction here. Hang on. Your channel will be shut down. I get that. Rat, what you said. Okay, you lie too much. Cool. Lying is not illegal, by the way. But it's going to be after midnight. You are against migration. I do not like Corgans too. So I think he doesn't like migrants too. But I never said I don't like migrants. I just don't like migration, mass migration and illegal migration. It's not about the individuals. I mean, some of them are criminals, so I'm against them. But I can't stand your lies. Maybe go learn English first and then we can have a debate. Next. Okay, so. Oh, Mustard is back. It's been a while. Saying, I haven't been here for a while. Sorry for that. Apologies accepted. Don't worry. Here's some support. So unnecessary. Thank you for that, by the way. I didn't ask for it. Ivan says, if they censor in the UK, a VPN gets around it. Now, as I said, the bill is about the company being based in the UK. So, and your residence, like your residential address as well. Muffin says, keep safe, Maya. It's wrong once again. We need to see what they are doing now to stop all of the YouTube channels, and we need to know the truth. Please take care, Maya, and everyone else. We'll find out what they're actually... By the way, despite the paranoia that I have, and legally speaking, the legislation, the powers for Ofcom, let's not forget, I say an hour and a half is going to start from midnight, right? Monday, the 7th of March. You are talking about the British bureaucratic government. You do realize these people, it's highly unlikely that they're going to be able, I don't know, I say that I might jinx it now, unlikely that they're going to be able to start doing a crackdown efficiently from tomorrow morning. I think it's going to take them a few years to find out exactly what they're doing and what we're doing and how they should censor this and control it, monitor it. That's my instinct. So, because everything takes ages in this country. So, everything that's controlled by the bureaucrats takes ages. And it's usually not done properly. You've seen the justice system, right? You've got criminals actually escaping justice. Anya says, why do they watch your channel if they don't like what you say? They call it lies, but it's the news. Yet they still watch and then comment. Weird type of hate they have. It's called masochism. They are... It's called hate watching. I was going to make a sexual comment, but I can't because I'm a good boy. Anyway, Vinny King says, will the new legislation delay the Tousi TV app? I should have used that as an excuse though. Spaceman is going to get angry now. I should have just said the reason the app is delayed is because of Starmer. By the way, the app is coming soon. We're still waiting for the app. Yes, unfortunately, we're waiting for Apple, bloody Apple, to do the paperwork. Google and Android is fine. The Google Play, whatever it's called, the shop on Android. I don't know why people have Android. Don't start fighting me on Android. But that's ready to go. But we're going to launch them together. RJ's clips can't help his illiterate and slow typing. Personally, I think it's nice that his carers let him and his other smooth-brained friends watch YouTube. That's a good one. Thank you for another super chat. And RG from Israel says, when people go out there of their way to try to smear your channel's name but have zero facts or arguments, you're most definitely doing something right. Well, it's clearly entertaining enough for them to watch it, so... Again, hate watch, I guess. Let's have a look. We got saying Tousi, greetings from greetings from Aruba. God bless you. Thank you so much for watching from all around the world. So, what? Chris says, I can see media channels closing down, all because certain videos offend a certain person. Yes. The thing is, this is against the human rights, international human rights, but they managed to get away with it, which is kind of fascinating. Is there RJ's clips, whatever his name is, commenting or not? Because, I'm in a mood. I don't have much longer till the censorship starts. So, I think he's gone to bed. What a shame. Anyway, next. as an American, can you explain what reform is looking like? Looking like me and the upcoming elections might look like. Well, Reform UK. Well, they're doing well in the polls, and they think that they can win up to 200 seats in the local elections, which is going to come. But the problem is, doing well and getting support is not the same as being good. So it's interesting that Reform UK is having a lot of problems right now. I mean, constitutionally, they're not a party. They don't actually have a party as a company. There's a lot of issues with policies. You're not allowed to be controversial. You're not allowed to be a populist. You know, you can't say mass deportations. You can't talk about Islam and things like that. But one thing is, the reform supporters, again, actually, there are good reform supporters and cultist ones. The ones who support the leadership and the chairman, Zia Yusuf, they say, we are still winning. You know, it doesn't really matter. We are really popular. But that's literally what happened with Boris Johnson in 2019 as the leader of the Tory party. The Tories could have come out and say, doesn't matter what you say about our party, we're still popular, we're winning, we're getting majority. It's not about the support. It's about what you're going to do with the power you have. And there are people who are concerned about Reform UK forming a government. Reform cultists say, no. The priority for us is to win government. Like, yes, win government. But what are you going to do with it? Boris Johnson's Tories said the same. We're going to win government. Okay, cool. And then we're going to do things. Oh, are you? Good. They didn't. They did the exact opposite. Let's not forget, when you get into government, there's a lot of issues, obstacles, that will make you be a traitor to your own cause. So people say, is the problem that Reform UK is going to implode? No. The problem for a lot of people is that Reform UK is going to succeed and actually become popular and win. That's the problem, because this party is not ready for government. But where is the cabinet? Who is going to be in the cabinet? Who's going to be the education secretary? Who's going to be the foreign secretary? Who's going to be the chancellor? Who's going to be... They got obviously 4 MPs. But who are the others? You're going to get a lot of new MPs in the next election. Let's just say Reform UK gets a majority. They form a government. Brilliant. Celebrate. Who is going to be in the cabinet? You need at least 20 people. Are they going to be experienced enough? And people say, well, we need outsiders. Yes, we do need outsiders. But not just any outsider. You have good outsiders and bad outsiders. And we've already seen the quality of people at the top of Reform UK. So that's the issue. Now, going back, we got Stu again saying, will Labour be held accountable for the verifiable lies that were broadcast? No. Doesn't count, does it? They have all the power for now. Scary times. What's going on? We are in. I need people like you, more people like, well, more jail time. Clipper says, don't forget the UK government under David Cameron once thought that they could ban porn on the internet. Let's see how well they roll this out. I think it was about, oh my God, it's like 10 years ago now. 9 years ago, when I was a Tory, I went to a party conference. And at the time, the Home Secretary, Amber Rudd, I was going to say Amber Heard, Amber Rudd, this was the lack of intelligence for these politicians, literally had this speech saying, I want to get access to WhatsApp, people's WhatsApp messages and everything else. And I was like, I don't think you know anything about encryption at the time, right? And then she said, we need to look into cryptocurrencies. Like, but the what? Look into what? These people have no idea. They just hear words from like lobbyists and their advisors, and they say, I think I should say this. It sounds smart. They have no plan. Banning porn on the internet. Good luck with that. You can't ban the internet. Oh, Kate, thank you for your support. And Mustard says, I can be a troll too. Here we go. You lie much, so much, anti-migrants, so racism, something, open air prison. Actually, we haven't heard about the open air prison for a while. Thanks for that. DJ Hurt says, I bought my cousin an asylum seeker doll. We wound it up and it ran and attached itself to the toy train as it was going into the tunnel. This is the last night we can do this. It's fine. Actually, I'm exaggerating. We can still do this tomorrow. It's fine. I'll get into trouble. You won't. Actually, to be fair, you might get into trouble as well. But your usernames are all anonymous, so it's fine. Digital Universe says, so that means we can imprison Keir Starmer for causing psychological harm and false information. He's done this consistently. But let's not forget, as I said, one rule for them, another one for the others. So we had Jacinda Ardern in New Zealand claiming that the media lies and you have to trust the state for your news. And she was lying. Nobody went after her, right? Mark Wood says, order to Crackdown, it regulates good and bad. Good and bad. So if it hasn't acted before now, then it hasn't found the problem. Well, when Ofsted asked for ideas to run the country. Ofsted or Ofcom? Ofsted is for schools. Unless you're talking about Ofsted. I don't know what that is. Sorry, guys. I tried. Martin Foote says, you will get a prison full of politicians that they lie. Well, the opposition parties could get into trouble, right? This is the same nonsense that the US Democrats started to use the powers of the state to go against President Trump over the last few years. Oh, he's back. RJ's clips, ladies and gentlemen. You remind me of Judas. Did it look like me? With a hidden gold, while Farage is the true prophet preaching. Oh, hello, he's a Farage fan. Mr. Goofy, you never be Nigel. I don't want to be Nigel. Only like David Lammy. David Lammy's fat. Oh, it all makes sense. RJ's clips is a Nigel loyalist. Oh, everything makes sense now. Brilliant. Oh, I always wonder what sort of side of the political spectrum RJ's clips is with his trolley comments. It's kind of funny though. I will never be Nigel. I don't want to be Nigel. I like my life. I am psychologically harmed by this crackdown. Yeah. Imagine if we could sue them for suing us. Brad says, some British subjects in the 1770s were at odds with the crown and had the courage to stand up to the most powerful military at the time. Come on, Brits. I know you folks have it in you to fight the power. I don't think we do. The thing is, Brad, there's a difference between you Americans. You're built differently, even at the time, than a lot of us Brits. There will be enough Brits who will fight back, but not everybody else. Trust me. Right. What's going on? Archer's clips. Your mother is your sister and your father is your brother. I don't think it's Islamic. He likes Nigel. Bloody hell. What a crazy, crazy time. Is he back? Nah, it's just his PC. So Maya, it's the Democrats. Democrats, not Democrats. Nice. I can't say it tomorrow because that's psychologically harmful to the US Democrats. Anyway, we will fight back. Ironically, this came at the same time as us announcing the new trailer for our upcoming exclusive documentary called Cancelled, which will be on Tousi TV Plus. You have to go on tousi.tv. The link is in the description. And you have to be patient. Don't turn it off. Watch the trailer.
Free speech is one of the main cornerstones of Western civilization.
When I was at school, when I thought of cancel culture, my first thought went to YouTubers who have to make apology videos for saying something stupid. It wasn't anything to do with politics.
But today, it is under threat.
There is no true free speech in this country. It's utterly terrifying.
Under the guise of safety and social justice, governments across the West are clamping down on what we can say.
You're giving the state far too much power that it will inevitably abuse.
Will freedom of thought and speech become a thing of the past in the UK?
Ofcom will be an organ of the state, to decide what's true and what's false.
Oh yes, cancelled, coming soon on Tousi TV Plus. You can watch that by going on Tousi.tv or find the link in the description. Become a member of Tousi TV Plus to get access to all our documentaries, uncensored content, unlike what you see here, as if I censor myself, and also access to the chat forum to talk to me and like-minded people every Sunday at least 9 p.m. UK time. I'm in the live chat, not the live chat, the voice channel. We'll do video call with the members, and we just did one 2 hours ago, so join us then. There is a human with a super chat. It's Mustard the human, thank you, saying I hope you got your 30 pieces of silver for betraying Jesus. Oh yeah, Judas. Which apparently you did 2,000 years ago, according to the chat, which is reliable. Yes, I am in fact Judas. Anyway, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a break. I'm gonna take a nap and find out what is going on this planet. Subscribe to the channel, join Tousi TV Plus. I'm Maya Tousi, and we are the media.